Dobrý den, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. What's on the menu today? This type of grammar I will show you in a minute. We're going to have a look at certain phrases that we use quite often in Czech, and they might have a very interesting structure when you translate it to English. However, they are really handy. Before I start explaining how it works and give you examples on the board, I would like to show you a short video. Jdeme na to. Nevím, jestli bude vidět ta kartička. Je to vidět? A teď je vidět? Doufám, že na videu nebudou vidět ty tepláky. Tady je něco cítit. Něco se pálí.
Zítra mám svůj den. Asi to tak bude. Je to cítit všude. Je to cítit všude.
V tomhle videu jsou slyšet různí ptáci České republiky. Za moment je zpoza dveří sesterny slyšet. Co si pro boha budou myslet v čekárně? In that short video you heard phrases like doufám, že bude vidět ta kartička. I hope this card will be visible. Doufám, že bude vidět. Or tady je něco cítit. Tady je něco cítit. Cítit and cítit are the same verbs. Even in the song, je to cítit všude. Jsou slyšet ptáci. You can hear birds singing. Je slyšet ptáky can be translated as you can hear the birds, we can hear the birds, it is possible to hear the birds. We refer to something impersonally. We are not speaking to you, you can hear, but we are saying it is audible. The grammar is very easy. You need the verb to be in a specific form and a specific tense, plus the main verb like to see, to hear, to smell, and to recognize or to know. Plus that specific part that we refer to. What is it that you can see or smell, etc. We don't even have to refer to anything in particular. We can just use to, which is it. So if you say je to vidět, it means it's visible. You can see that. It's possible to see that. Bude to vidět. You will be able to see that. It will be possible to see. It will be possible to be seen. Or even past. Bylo to vidět. It was visible. You could see that. Or conditional. Bylo by to vidět. It would be visible. You would be able to see that. Depends on the context. You can clearly understand my drawings as well. This is a nose, in case you didn't know. I could say, tohle je nos. Je to poznat? This is a nose. Is it clear? Can you recognize it? So I said that you have to choose a specific form of the verb. Depends what you refer to. When it's to, it's neuter. That's why we used bylo or bylo by. What about a different gender and a different number? For example, tepláky, pants. Doufám, že nejsou vidět moje tepláky. I hope you don't see my pants. Or in future, doufám, že nebudou vidět moje tepláky. I hope you won't see my pants. Doufám, že nebyly vidět moje tepláky. I hope my pants were not visible. I hope you didn't see my pants. So remember, for past tense we have byla for feminine, bylo for neuter, byl for masculine when it's singular, and then for plural we have byly or byly. Let's see some more examples. There are a couple of sentences that contain these phrases. They are of different tense and refer to different things. The first one says, nebylo nic slyšet ani vidět. Let's identify the subject. The subject of the sentence is nic. Nothing is the subject. Nic. We refer to nothing. Nothing was audible or visible, or you could translate it better by saying you could not see or hear anything. Or if this is in a different context, for example, I am having a lesson with my student and the student starts to call and I cannot hear or see anything, just not working. So when I call again, when we finally connect, I tell my student, nebylo nic slyšet ani vidět. I could not hear or see anything. So you see that it is very flexible when we translate it. The important thing to realize is that the construction is quite passive, as if it was passive voice. We are talking about it or that thing. We are not talking about I could not hear, you could not hear. And we often mean that. We often refer to I could not see, you could not see, or we could not see. And the construction is here. Nebylo slyšet ani vidět. Nebylo slyšet ani vidět. It was not to hear or see. Okay, that's very strange. The way to remember how to make it is that it's as if it had the adjective možné. Imagine it says možné, which means possible, or možný, depends what kind of gender you have there. Nebylo možné nic slyšet ani vidět, which would also make sense. It would be a completely correct sentence. It was not possible to hear anything or see anything. If you say it this way, it would sound more formal. These constructions are not too informal. We use them in everyday life, but they are not slang or colloquial Czech. It's just being a bit informal and expressed in a very easy way. So imagine you say, it was not possible to hear, but we don't say the word possible. Okay, the next sentence, je vidět, že nejsi odtud. I can see that you're not from here. You see somebody acting strange or wearing strange clothes. And again, je vidět, it is possible to see. Je možné vidět. It is possible to see. So what are we referring to here in this sentence? It is actually a full clause. Že nejsi odtud. So this is a full clause. When it starts with že, you can use it right after. It's actually very common. It doesn't have to be just one word, one noun or a pronoun. You can just say, it is visible. I can see that something and something is true or not true, for example. Je vidět, že nejsi odtud. So we are referring to this. This is visible. I can see this. Je vidět. Všude byla cítit smažená cibule. What are we referring to? Smažená cibule. This is the subject of the sentence. That's why the verb also has to refer to this feminine form. Byla cítit. Byla cítit. Obviously, these main verbs don't change. They're in the infinitive form. They will stay always in the infinitive form. You could smell fried onion everywhere. Všude byla cítit smažená cibule. Or you go to a costume party and you are supposed to meet your friends and you don't see them, you don't recognize them because they are wearing some very cool costumes and it completely confused you. So you can say, v těch kostýmech jste nebyli poznat. Who are we referring to? What's the subject? It's not even here. Well, it is here, but it is not written. Vy. Vy is the subject. Vy, I'm talking to the people. Vy jste nebyli poznat. You guys were not recognizable. We could not recognize you in those costumes. Vy, and it is referring to the subject. Vy jste nebyli poznat. You were not possible to recognize. Na videu to nebude vidět. This is me thinking. I am wearing my house pants and I hope it will not be visible in the video. What is the subject? It is to. And the phrase is nebude vidět, because we are referring to to. It won't be visible in the video. You won't be able to see it in the video. Aren't these phrases cool? And let's do one exercise where you will practice how to make these constructions. I wrote the exercise on the computer and then inserted it here on this board, so you would be able to see it well. Napsala jsem věty na počítači, aby byly dobře vidět. On the board you can see 7 sentences and also the translation. The interesting thing is when you translate these sentences in Google Translator, for example, into English, it will always give you a choice of a passive voice. It can be heard, it can be seen. It's also possible, but usually these situations happen when we speak and we have an informal conversation or a conversation that is not just too formal. So the passive voice doesn't sound exactly right. Your task is to complete the right form of the verb to be. You can pause the video and work on this on your own. And now we are going to work on this together. Z ulice slyšet tramvaje. So you can hear the trams from the street. The subject of the sentence is tramvaje. In this case, it's plural, trams. So you say they are possible to be heard. Jsou slyšet tramvaje. Z ulice jsou slyšet tramvaje. If you got this correct, well done, super. Číslo 2. You're watching a movie and it's a little too low. So you ask a friend or your partner who has the remote. Zesílíš to? To slyšet. What we are referring to is to, it. Není to slyšet. I cannot hear it. Není to slyšet. Super. Číslo 3. A driver says, it was dark and I could not see the pedestrian. It is chodec. Chodec is the subject and it's only one. So you say nebyl vidět. Ten chodec vůbec nebyl vidět. If it was chodci, the pedestrian, it would say nebyli vidět. Číslo 4. A friend has a messy hair and she says, nestihla jsem se učesat. And you say, I can see that. So we are referring to to. To is the subject. And you say, je to vidět. Je to vidět. Číslo 5. Z nedaleké dálnice slyšet kamiony. What could we hear? The trucks. Kamiony, and it's plural. So, byly slyšet kamiony. Did you get this one right? Výborně. Číslo 6. Will these pictures be recognizable? Will you recognize these pictures? The subject is pictures, obrázky. Budou poznat ty obrázky? A poslední, číslo 7. I usually prepare for my videos. I make illegible notes. Není to moc vidět, but they're from me. You would recognize, or my viewers would recognize, if I didn't make notes for the video. What are we referring to? The situation. So we say, bylo by poznat. Here you can see that you can also continue with kdybych, not only že. You can also have a different conjunction, such as když. To je všechno. I am curious to know if you've come across this grammar and how you are dealing with it. Is it something that you find useful? Is it something that you just don't understand? Well, I really hope that after watching this video, you will really like this grammar construction and you will start using it. Mějte se krásně a těším se na příště. Ahoj!